right, now I'm going to record it just to piss you off. Go ahead.
You're not pissing me off.
Just speak. I'm just trying to get
I'm
levels.
speaking fine, man. What are you talking
I know,
about?
but I need you to say multiple words so I can look at it while you're speaking. Go ahead. I fucking hate you.
That's probably what you need to check anyways, the laughs.
Not really, because we clip those out anyways. I'm like max on my normal speaking voice is around 10 dB.
Jump to the jam, boogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect. I'm the man in command. Come flow with the sounds of the mighty mic master. Put me on the mic, appearing sucker to disaster.
He's singing a song, and I don't know what it is. I'm way lower than you, so boom, shakalaka.
Yeah.
So...
That's us three.
You know, once upon a time, there was a man who lived in a can, but his name was Dan. But he didn't live in a can, he lived in a house, and it was pretty rad.
Yeah, totally.
All right, so we're just going to go with this, and I'll post-edit it.
Are you hot? I feel hot.
It's because I'm in the room, Dan.
A little bit. Are you warm?
Sexy. Yeah, I am warm, but I think it's just because I came up
booze?
steps and booze, yeah. Have you ever, like, fucked with throwing stars? Or
No,
throwing
I'd love
knives?
to. I'd love to.
I bought throwing knives from the flea market one time, and they were so fun to play with, and I really want to buy more.
Do you have some?
No, I don't have them anymore, but I used to have them.
Fucking A.
It's like a 3-set. It was like $5. I was like, I'm definitely buying those and throwing them at shit.
Do you want to go to ATP later and get some throwing knives?
No.
Yeah, you do.
I'd rather get them from the flea market.
Yeah, me too. I was trying to explain that to Terry not to Terry. It was to somebody else. Because, I would love to own a sword.
Right? Just to have a sword.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Like, I don't want to be the guy
Not
with
decorative.
I don't want to be the YouTube guy with a set of katanas behind him.
No.
You know, the 3-set where it's the katana, the day katana, and the...
I don't know.
Kari? What's the really short one?
I don't know. Dagger.
Because the day katana is like a 3-foot. The katana is like a 4 or 5 foot.
You're talking about the decorative.
Yeah, the 3
Yeah.
different sizes.
Looks like a gun rack.
Yeah, but it's
For
swords.
decorative fake swords.
But they make the
Yeah,
real,
I don't want those either.
They make the real swords that in the same
Oh,
setup.
of course.
I just want a katana. I think a katana is the only sword you really need. Either
I
that or
agree.
a bastard sword. A big ass heavy claymore.
Claymore's like 9 feet long.
Yeah, well, a bastard sword's like that, but like maybe 6 foot. But it's still the same. It goes to a point.
Yeah.
It's just a big heavy sword.
You want a big fucking broadsword like that?
Yeah,
Why?
because
Well,
sometimes
you're a little bigger than me. Okay, you're not bigger than me. You're stronger than me.
Stronger. You can say
Yeah.
stronger.
That's what I meant. I understand that. It just, maybe a heavy sword is what I should get because
I
I
think
might not
katana.
hurt myself as much.
See, that's another thing. Katana's super sharp,
Crazy sharp.
but
You got to get full tang.
you could use a katana in a hallway. Upward
True.
slash. Whoosh, 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 whoosh.
See, now is a katana the same as a samurai sword? Because I don't think it is. Isn't a katana a shorter blade and then it's got like some of them even have like the built-in throwing stars that are over the hilt?
What? That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, where they like slide down and they're like part of the hilt.
See, throwing stars as an actual weapon, I think, pretty
Seems-
useless weapon.
Seems ridiculous.
Seems real stupid. Have you ever like held a real throwing star? They're heavy as shit.
Yeah, they are heavy.
I think it'd do more blunt damage than it would cutting.
Although,
I think it's more like, holy shit, did that dude just throw a throwing star at me and it's stuck in the wall behind me?
if
I'm out of
you
here.
walked into my house with a handful of throwing stars and started chucking them at me,
You're going to run.
I'm not going to be happy about it.
No.
Granted, it doesn't seem like a legitimate weapon, but if you start chucking them at me, I'm going to get out of the way.
Now the question is, what kind of throwing star are you thinking of? The 4-point?
4-point.
See, have you seen the ones that are like 6 to 8 to 10
Yeah, it
points?
looks like a sun.
Yeah, I think those are more
Son of
likely to
death.
stick into something.
They look like it.
But see, I don't think the ones you buy like at the flea market and shit are sharpened correctly. I would think a throwing star would be designed to have like a blade that would sink all the way in. The whole point of this blade would sink into you.
Well, see, I don't know. I've never tried it.
I've only thrown them at like wood and shit,
That's what I want to do.
and they've only stuck in like maybe a quarter of an inch at most, and that's
You-
throwing it hard as
You already
shit.
have a stump.
I do have a stump.
You have a fucking log. Unless
Man.
it's gotten smaller.
You know what I've always wanted to make? I know this is going to sound super illegal and crazy that I want to make this.
Do it anyway. Pipe bomb?
No.
With shrapnel?
No.
I've got 6 over here.
I got expelled for that. No. Well,
Are you serious?
Okay. I'm going to have to tell the story now.
Okay. Rewind.
I didn't get expelled for it. I had to talk to the SWAT captain. Did I tell you the story before?
Nope.
Okay.
Hold on.
Well, real quick, since we're already 5 minutes into this, I'm Brent.
I'm Dan.
You're listening to Dan and Brent Live Forever.
Welcome.
We have a new table, and it is fucking amazing.
Yeah, we're not like...
We're super... Before we were straddling a bookshelf.
Yep. Small bookshelf that I used to keep my record player and vinyl collection on.
So...
Which, I mean, admirably did the job.
I mean, it only took me like 6 months to put 4 screws in a table to make it work.
It only took over a year for us to get a table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were just like, yeah, we're fucking doing it. But I think we're slowly building this into like something.
Yeah.
And last month we made like $6,000 on this podcast? It's pretty impressive.
Way more than I thought we would have.
Yeah. Anyways, so in high school, let's just start with saying I wasn't the best kid.
In what way?
I think I had ADD and didn't have medicine for it. I was very I wasn't hyper. I wasn't ADHD. I was just
ADD.
The weird kid.
The weird kid, sure.
So I would get bored in school because, I mean, this is going to sound real snobby, but I knew everything. But I didn't know everything. But
no, I understand.
School was super easy for me.
I know what you mean. Like you get tired of answering questions because your stupid ass classmates would never answer anything. Did you get that?
Yeah, or they would ask questions.
My teacher wouldn't even call on me after a while. And I didn't want to answer either. The only reason I was raising my hand was so that the lesson could continue.
Well,
I was so fucking bored
of everyone looking around.
I was
going,
just
I don't know the answer.
And I would just sit there with my hand up, just staring up at the ceiling. And she knew I knew the answer, so of course she wasn't going to call on me. She wanted the other students to learn.
In high school, what were your grades?
That shit. I mean, B average.
B average. I was C average, but I did
barely trying.
I did 0 homework.
Yeah, I didn't do anything.
I would make A's and B's on my test without studying.
Yeah.
Occasionally I fail one, but for the most part I did great on test, and I knew all the stuff. I could learn it really quick, and most of the stuff I would research on my own because we grew up in the time of the internet. Maybe you were a little before that. You're a few years older than me.
It was around right at the end of high school. So
mine was right around the beginning of high school.
So I graduated in 97. So.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I graduated in 02.
Yeah. What was with the condescending really? That's 5 years later, you dick.
No, I just didn't.
But it moves pretty quickly. The internet.
I was going to say
from 97 to 02 is dramatically different.
Yeah, 97 is you've got mail. 02 is you've got mail. But so let's just say I wasn't the greatest kid. I got in a lot of trouble. My freshman year, I got expelled for reasons. I had to go to military school.
Right.
Got back in my regular school after that.
I didn't know that you had to go to military school for a while.
It wasn't really military school. It was bad kid school. And basically...
It was like pre-juvie?
Yeah. I mean, it was with kids that were one kid in particular I know is now in prison for shooting someone in the face.
Of course.
And I don't know any of the other kids. But, yeah, it was not a great school. It was bad kids. And I went there because...
Why do you think that's the case? Because you didn't really come from a bad background.
No.
You had good parents.
I have great parents.
You're not a dumb person.
My freshman year, I started smoking marijuana.
Okay, yeah, me too. Big deal.
Well, I purchased marijuana in school.
Oh, bad idea.
I went home with that marijuana, brought it back to school the next day because I didn't want my parents to find it in my room. And the same time, we went to the dugout of the softball field and smoked. And I showed up to class 20 minutes late, smelling like marijuana.
Duh.
Because as a kid, you're like,
don't realize
you're like, fuck, I don't care.
They don't care. They can't tell.
Yeah, they can't tell. And so the next day, when I had the marijuana in my pocket, I'm sitting in my class.
Dude.
And what do you think I was wearing in the late 90s?
Cargos.
Pants-wise.
Cargos?
No.
Bibs?
Specific brand.
Skids.
Jinkos.
Jinkos.
So my back pocket went down.
Skids would have been earlier. Yeah.
My back pocket went down to my calf.
Yep.
So I had the pot in my wallet.
Did you have a wallet chain?
2 little dime bags. No, I didn't. Wish I would have. So I see the vice principal knock on the door, and I see the teacher go out there and talk to him, and I'm like, I just knew they're here for me.
They're here for me.
So I'm trying to reach in my Jinko jeans to grab my wallet to just throw my wallet somewhere.
Right.
Can't reach it.
Oh no.
Because I'm sitting in a seat and it's all the
so
way down to my calf.
Far away.
So
like
anyways,
you were thinking like, oh well, I'll just like chuck it over there into that bookcase or something.
Or I'll throw it into the kid's desk. I don't care.
I'll hide this shit. Yeah.
So he goes, vice principal comes in. Brent, can I see you in the office? I stand up and he comes over and looks under my desk, in my desk. I'm like, yep, I'm busted.
I'm made.
I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. So he pulls me into the office, and the police officer for the school's in there, who was like really cool dude, Mr. Hayward. No, was Mr. Hayward the vice principal? Nope, Hayward was the cop. I can't remember the vice principal's name.
The SRO.
Yeah, the SRO. That was when they just started having them too.
Yeah, of course they're cool. They've got the easiest job in the world.
Yeah, it's like, hey, stop bullying that kid.
Yeah, they occasionally throw a couple elbows at some 11th graders.
I mean, you did hear what happened a few days ago though in Florida, right?
Yeah.
It's a little tougher now.
Okay, shut up.
So, anyways, I go in there. They're like, we've heard some rumors that some marijuana was smoked on campus, and you have some marijuana on you. And I was like, well, that's weird. I don't know what you're talking about. And they're going through my wallet, and they don't find nothing. I'm like, sweet. And they go, oh, wait, nope, hang on. There's this little pocket right here. Busted.
They found the hidden pocket.
Yep. I mean, it wasn't really hidden. I mean, you could feel 2 big dime bags. And then they tried to say, like, I was selling it. I was like, no, I bought 2 dime bags because I had $20. That's what they had.
Right.
So anyways.
This was 14?
15. I'm always older. I was
that's right.
July
You were
birthday.
late. Yeah.
So.
I was early July birthday.
So, like, what happened? I was like, I just brought it from home. Didn't rat the guy out. I was like,
Smart.
I'm 15. I know prison rules.
Not to mention, you're not going to get in that much trouble.
Yeah. So.
Although apparently you did. Like, sounds like you got some serious fucking repercussions for that shit.
So I get arrested. I get put in the back of the cop car. They said they're calling my parents. We're taking you down to county, locking you up for possession. I get in the cop car, and then they bring the guy who sold me the pot in there. And he's like, dude, what the fuck? Why would you? I was like, dude, I didn't say anything. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, they tricked him.
Yeah.
They pulled the old cop trick. Like,
oh, yeah.
Brent already said you sold it to him.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
That had to have been what happened. Because
yeah,
either that
stupid pot.
Either that or the person
trick.
who told someone that I had it on me. Because someone had to say he has pot on him. And maybe I'm the person I think it is knew who I bought it from.
Oh.
I'm thinking it was maybe him. It's kind of a dude who looked like Anthony. Anyways. So I got expelled.
Anthony.
My dad beat me to the police station.
Whoa.
That's always fun when you get out of the cop car and
he's already there.
He's in my face like, are you
shit.
fucking serious?
Fuck.
Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, shit. My life sucks. So I'm in there for like 30 minutes while they take my information. My dad takes me home. I'm expelled.
Worst car ride of all time.
Yeah. So
like, are you going to kill me?
We go, I have a hearing for the school board.
Right.
And they're like, sorry, zero policy for pot. Because my dad's like, come on, man, it's the first time. I mean, he's a good kid. He makes good grades. He'd never been in trouble. I had never been in trouble. No suspensions, no.
Yeah, whatever that permanent record shit is, check that. I've never been in trouble.
Sorry, zero policy for drugs. He's out.
Immediate expulsion?
Yep.
No reformation whatsoever.
Nope, expelled.
That's fucking bullshit.
Right?
Not even one strike?
Nope. Zero drug policy.
That. Now
Thanks,
what
Miss
happens?
Reagan. So I went to military school.
Where was this?
On Rivers, right next to Jones Ford, that shut down school.
Not Military Magnet. That's a different one.
No, it technically wasn't a military school. It was just a bad kid school.
Oh, okay.
But they made us do like military drills. Like if you act like a drill sergeant, they'll be
Daniel
better.
Jenkins like that now?
Who?
Daniel Jenkins?
Is that a school or a person?
It's a school.
Probably both.
School over by. It's where security used to be. before they moved to the new place over on Bridgeview. Anyway,
I don't know.
I heard that that's what that place was. Like, they've just got all the bad kids, quote unquote.
Like, when I say bad kids, like, we wouldn't get strip searched, but we would get searched every day when we got to school. Like, pat us down.
How bad are these kids? Just trying to sell drugs?
I mean, everyone's in there for different reasons. Everyone basically been expelled, and this is their last. This is the school they can go to.
Are they drop kicking kittens into the ocean?
Some of them were bad. Some of them were
real fucked up.
So,
which is even more disturbing
that they put someone like me in there.
For someone with your intelligence and background to like jam you into that environment and be like, you're one of these kids.
The teachers loved me there.
Of course they did.
Because I'm a great student, great person, great kid. I did a shitty thing.
That's extreme as fuck, man.
It was. So anyways.
Is it still that way? It can't be.
I think it is, man. I think schools are zero drug policy.
It would have been overrun by now. There's so many drugs in schools.
Like, they didn't have...
I think they criminally prosecute them now.
They didn't have stalls in the bathrooms.
Whoa.
Like prison bathrooms. Like, there's your pisser, there's your shitter. If you got a shit and people come in, they're going to see you shitting.
The toilet made of chrome?
No.
And had no lid?
No. But this one kid got busted because he had a belt with a zipper on it, and he was bringing pot to this school that is already a military school. I mean, the cool thing about it, I learned some really cool stuff. Like, because they were more hands-on there, because they know bad kids aren't bad kids; they're bored kids,
or they're just from a bad background and
they don't have parents
proper
there.
attention.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, we had
all
the regular courses.
Pretty good teachers to even survive in those schools.
We had normal courses, and then we had extra stuff you could do. You could do like art, or you could do. We had a greenhouse. And so I would go out there and help grow plants and shit. Like, I learned a lot of really cool skills, honestly.
That's awesome.
And so I went there for almost a full year. My mom pulled me out early so that because she was like, he doesn't belong here. These kids are really bad. And they were. Like, I kind of got picked on. That's the only place.
So was there an option for them to pull you out sooner?
Well, I think what happened is I was expelled for a year. She pulled me out after the new school year had started, so technically I could go back. My dad wanted me to stay there for a full year because he's like, you fucked up, you're going to have to pay the price, which I respect him for. Because you got to learn your lesson.
Yeah. My mom might have been worked out in the long run because, I mean, I'm guessing it was a little easier.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was making like straight A's there because it's like, oh, you're teaching.
Yeah, Brent Hawking over there.
So anyways.
Why are you so smart?
I get back to normal school. This is all coming back to where I had to talk to the SWAT captain about pipe bombs. So.
Yeah, this is way too long.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. So I get back to normal school. First year goes by fine. Second year, I get bored again. Awesome. Hang on, we'll be right back. Feed my Frankenstein, Dan.
Feed it.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Brent.
I'm Dan.
Welcome to Dan and Brent Live Forever.
Live Forever.
My fart totally followed me in here, man. I'm so
gross,
sorry
dude.
about that. Sorry. I shook it out and everything, but genes.
You shook it out? You tried to air it out?
Yeah.
That's funny.
How's your week been, man?
Not too bad.
Not too bad?
Yeah, until this weekend. Oh, dude. Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry. I'm not proud of it.
I don't know. You probably should be proud. You're going to have to pause it. I'm going to throw up. Are we recording?
We are recording, Dan.
Thank you, Brent. Back to you.
Hey, man.
This is Live Forever.
Yeah, sorry. Instant break at the beginning of the show because of my asshole.
Yeah, that was awful.
It smells like a man in here. Now it smells like Terry Crews.
It's true.
So, what happened this weekend, man? Why you feeling like shit?
I think it's mostly sleep deprivation, but also a fifth of rum in one night. I think I broke my head, dude. I feel like I'm gonna constantly tumble forward, like I've been bowled in a hamster ball around my neighborhood, and I've been flipping end to end for several days.
That sucks.
And I just want to keep pitching forward. It's weird. It's like not a hangover.
Like when you bend over, it's just like you just want to fall completely forward. You can't.
Kinda, yeah.
Like you almost can't stop yourself.
Yeah, it's like my equilibrium's like fuck you.
Language? What? My equilibrium.
Equilibrium. Yeah, maybe I'm just drunk.
Yeah, I mean it happens.
What does brain cancer feel like?
Similar to this, I think so. I don't know.
I feel like I've got an alien in my head.
It's just.
Or maybe it's just my body being like, hey, why don't you fucking chill out on the booze for a minute?
Probably just super dehydrated.
Yeah, it could be.
Giving your brain a little extra room to wiggle around in there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an odd feeling.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I was going to die yesterday.
I've gotten those feelings before where it's like, it's not even a hangover. It's like you just feel fucked up.
Yeah.
Like that's the only way to explain it. Like not drunk. Moving. It's like you have the hand-eye coordination of a drunk person, but you're not drunk.
Well, it all started Thursday because I went to see Black Panther, and I got home early, took a nap, good to go. But that was the other problem. Ended up staying up until like 2, got up at like 6, and then drank a full bottle of booze the next day without taking a nap. Also stayed up till like 2 or 3. Had to work yesterday. I didn't feel hungover. That was the weird thing. Like I just felt like this weird vertigo kind of sensation. So much that I almost had Terry drive me to work.
Like, and to work you mean Florence?
To Florence, yeah. Which is like, about 2 hours away.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I couldn't bail out like they were expecting me.
Was it, I mean, pretty easy job though?
Oh, it was crazy easy. Yeah. That was by far the easiest part of the day. Like I literally showed up, 5 minutes of work, time to go, see you later.
Sweet.
Yeah, that part was great.
But then the driving and the...
See, that's the thing. Like sitting, I'm fine. Driving, I'm fine.
It's walking around and...
It's only up and down. Like it's not side to side. I don't feel weird at all. But like if I lean forward, lean back, it feels like somebody's pushing me. Like if I lean back, it's like you're in front of me going like, you're going to tip over. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, man.
Maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know.
Might just maybe chill
on
with
the
booze for a couple days.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it was just a shit ton of alcohol.
Probably. And
maybe some alcohol poisoning.
Could be a little bit. I've had it before, and you can really tell when you have alcohol poisoning when you can't taste anything.
Really?
Yeah. Like, you know what, like, I don't know, a salad or a cheeseburger or anything is supposed to taste like, and it doesn't taste like that anymore.
It's just like, I'm just putting food in the hole that charges my body.
Yeah, it just like shuts down your taste buds. Like, no enjoyment for you.
You overindulged. Damn. Well, shit, my weekend's been fine.
Well, why don't you rub it in? It's really not that bad. It's just weird. It's just an odd sensation.
Yeah, just something you're not used to feeling.
Yeah.
So we got a new table, and it's
pretty dope.
Awesome.
It's pretty dope.
This is the most comfortable I've been over here.
Not having to straddle the bookcase anymore.
Yeah.
Get comfortable, get cozy. Up in your face. Speaking of, what, were you going to do a brought to you by? What, you got a White Russian there?
Might as well. Brought to you by White Russians.
And alcoholics named Dan.
Dan's sticking with the water today.
No, I'm not.
Is that not?
I'm just drinking water now.
That's right. I saw you do a shot downstairs.
Yeah, absolutely. I've already brought this up. I have a problem.
According to my wife, I do too. I don't think I do.
See, that's what I used to think. I'm starting to think I might.
I see. I think if she didn't say, "Hey, man, you're drinking a lot," and then I would slow down, I think I would just be drinking.
See, but then I start spite drinking. I'm like, oh, really? I'm drinking too much? How about this? Bam, bam.
See, and then I secret drink.
See, that's even worse.
Like the bottle of vodka I poured into the bottle of rum.
or like the bottle of rum that I felt bad about drinking so much of that I drunk ass engineered to look. I mean, it's still sitting down there. I don't know if you saw it,
No.
but that is not rum.
I mean, there's probably a little bit of rum in there.
Maybe a touch, enough for it to smell like rum. But that is mostly Coca-Cola and water to a perfect ratio so that the light passes through it and still looks like rum.
Now, did you flatten the Coke before you put it in there?
No, that was the only caveat. And I'm like, that'll dissipate. Because there was a little ring of foam when I initially...
What if she picks it up and shakes it and she's like, this isn't rum?
Yeah. Fortunately, she thought it was hilarious. But I think she knows that if I don't police myself, there's really nothing that she can do.
Yeah. I mean, she can talk to you all day, and it's just like, well.
Which is kind of true, because over the next couple of weeks, I really can't drink. Because I've got a lot going on. I'm going to training. I've got to study a lot. So it's probably going to be good for me.
Yeah, one final blowout.
Yeah, that's good.
Whatever.
I'll be all right.
So, topic today.
Frankenstein. It's weird. Like, I'm not really a big Frankenstein fan.
But you seem to know a lot about it.
But I know a lot about it because I'm an English major, so we had to study Gothic literature and Romantic literature, which are somewhat related. And didn't really care for it, but I ended up doing some sort of video project. I know, given what we were just talking about, this sounds even worse, but I did a project with my homie Marshall in school, and we waited until 1 a.m. to remember that we had a presentation the following day. But
high school.
Oh, no, it was college. The only thing that saved us was the fact that it was movies.
Oh, so you were like...
And it was, what was it? There was a holiday. Well, a drinking holiday. Oh, it's Cinco de Mayo.
I was going to say St. Patty's Day, Cinco de Mayo. Those
right, pretty much.
Every holiday is a drinking holiday.
I'm in the middle of a keg party, and it just suddenly dawns on me, like, that's tomorrow.
Shit.
I'm like, Marshall, we got to get this shit done. He's like, it's too late, isn't it? I'm like, no.
We can do this.
This is one of those defining moments where you overcome. And he's like, I'm in, dude. I'm in. So we went to the video store, which was still open because it wasn't quite midnight. And when we went to like Blockbuster, Family Video or some shit, rented every single Frankenstein movie they had. And this is pre-internet, so you couldn't.
Yeah, you couldn't just go and watch a movie.
Well, it wasn't pre-internet. It was accessible Wikipedia, like the good stuff.
Yeah.
But you couldn't go stream it all. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nor could you get a lot of information. And so we went to the video store, and I'm like, what are we possibly going to talk about? And he's like, well, why don't we just give all the features of each movie and note the differences between the novel and the movies and just cram all that together.
Boom.
So I'm like, okay, no problem. And I'm like, how are we gonna do that? We can't just like swap tapes. And he was like, okay, we're gonna fast forward through every VHS. They were VHSs. We're gonna fast forward through all of these. We're gonna mark the times. And then we're gonna go down to the TCOM building as soon as they open, and we're gonna edit that shit together. And I'm like, all right, dude. Neither of us with any TCOM experience. We'd never used an editing tape machine whatsoever.
Yeah.
We had a blank tape and a stack full of rented videos. Right at 7 or 8 or whatever when it opened, we're, pounding coffee all night long. We didn't have any sort of stimulant that would help us aside from that. Maybe some no-dos. We roll in, and it was like predestination. Like we knew how to use this equipment. We'd never used it before in our lives.
Boom, done.
We don't know if this was a classroom or a lab or what.
You just walked in.
We just walked into the TCOM building and we're like, anybody using that editing machine over there? And they're like, no. We sat down and like in 30 minutes, we had all our notes and all the times laid out. We were just like zip, 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 zip. Put together a perfect presentation. Gave it that morning at like 9:30. A+.
Presentation you needed, not the presentation you deserved.
Correct.
Like Batman and Gotham.
So I inadvertently know a little too much about Frankenstein.
From one drunken night. Okay, well, I think everyone knows Frankenstein, originally written by Mary Shelley.
That's right.
That is all I know, basically.
Well, I think that everybody knows.
Is it Gothica? Is it or romantic? What era was it written in? I don't even know.
Gothic literature.
Gothic literature.
And Gothic literature is basically romantic, so it's overly dramatized. It's
1400s?
1800s.
1800s. Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, early 1800s.
Yeah, 1400s would be way too early. What am I talking about?
So, I want to get this out of the way real quick. I think it's fairly common for everyone to call the creature Frankenstein.
Yeah, but it's wrong, technically.
Yes, it is, but everybody calls him Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So, we're going to call him Frankenstein so that we're not constantly doing that thing that we usually do, like, what's his name, or this name, or this name.
So, originally it's Dr. Frankenstein and his monster. Correct. Frankenstein's monster.
So, that was a loud noise.
Did your wife just catch
I don't know.
vertigo?
Maybe she's doing atomic elbows off the counter. I'm going to call the doctor Victor because that's his name.
Victor.
And the creature or Adam or whatever I'm going to call
Frankenstein. Because that's what most people think of.
Yeah. And I know. I have an English degree. Fuck off. That's what I'm going to say.
So, as far as the book goes, it takes place in London? England?
Well, but before we get to that, well, yeah, it does.
Okay.
Before we get to that, I want to get a little Mary Shelley out of the way.
Okay.
So,
ooh, it's weird. As you said that, things started popping off in my head that I think I remember from history class and literature.
A couple little sparklers.
No, never mind. I'm thinking of
and the light goes out.
Thinking of Typhoid Mary. Not the same person.
Wrong. Okay, so kind of an interesting background. The reason Frankenstein came about, excuse me, Mary Shelley was married to Percy Shelley, the famous poet.
Don't know who that is either.
Wrote a play called Prometheus Unchained, which is kind of related to Frankenstein. The full title is Frankenstein, Modern Prometheus. Percy Shelley also wrote Ozymandias. You know, wasn't he like the man who couldn't die or something like that?
Nope.
Anyway, so
I think
two.
You mean the Portrait of Dorian Gray?
No.
Okay.
But that's Gothic literature, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lord Byron, who was just kind of a party animal, wrote a couple of things like...
Lord Byron sounds familiar.
He wrote a play, epic poet sort of thing. He didn't write Don Juan. He wrote a very famous like parody of Don Juan. And one of the most interesting
Don
was...
Quixote?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. My brain just hears two similar things. They're like, they must be related.
Foreignish sounding name from literature. They're all friends. And John Polidori decided to go on a weekend together. So Mary Shelley. Oh, there was one other person. But it's insignificant. It was like Mary Shelley's sister-in-law. I think it was Percy's sister. Anyway, on their way to this like weekend getaway, they stopped through a university where someone's talking about galvanism. Do you know what galvanism is?
Galvanized steel?
Same word, two meanings.
Strengthened? Covered?
No.
Nope.
You're right. Galvanized steel is a chemical reaction to bind...
To make it...
To bind...
Uncorrosive, right?
Right. To bind like whatever that non-corrosive material is on the outside. Zinc. Yeah. To
bind that
strengthen the metal. Galvanism in this sense is the study of making body parts move with electricity.
Oh.
Like hooking up electrodes to a frog and like making it do a little dance.
Or like the Russians did in that one video. Have you seen that video? Like way back, like black and white video of these Russian scientists like basically taking a severed dog head and bringing it back to life.
Yeah, that
that's
exactly. But
fucked up.
It's even more strange because so galvanism was discovered by this guy named Luigi Galvani. He believed that what kept us alive was something called a vital fluid. So he did a couple of, papers about it and never really did any sort of demonstrations. His son, Giovanni Aldini, followed this this murder trial by a dude named George Foster in 1803. And this was around the time that Mary Shelley was coming through town. There was this horrible trial. The guy was hung, and I forget what it was. Oh, the guy like tried to kill himself because he had this like irrational fear of coming back to life.
What?
Yeah, the murderer, who had already killed like 3 people,
Had a fear of coming back to life.
had a fear of coming back to life. Strangely enough,
He was the one chosen to.
he was the one chosen.
Oh, wow. What a
to
dick.
demonstrate galvanism.
Hey, that's the guy who's afraid of being coming back to life. All right, let me. Can I borrow his corpse?
Yeah, so apparently there was this really strange and kind of graphic demonstration done by Aldini demonstrating galvanism, where he took this body and like shocked it in all the right places and like
Made it
got the
sit
guy's
up.
arm to raise, got him to sit up, and like even got his eye to pop open. Like it freaked everyone the fuck out. So Mary Shelley saw this demonstration before going on a weekend retreat with all these poets and writers to take a bunch of laudanum and see who could come up with the scariest story.
What's laudanum?
Laudanum is what they call a full opiate or a full spectrum opiate. That is all the parts of the poppy plant reduced to a tincture, in addition to, I forget the word. It's something with the word tussin in it because there's a cough suppressant.
Robitussin?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, that's where they get it.
Robotripping?
It's the non-opiate part of opium.
You ever robotrip?
I tried.
Yeah, I don't
Got
think
very
I ever,
sick.
Yeah, I don't think I ever.
Yeah,
successfully
we tried it in high school and drank a bunch of cough syrup, and it was awful.
Yeah.
It was awful.
It's the worst.
Yeah, we were all throwing up and like, why?
So, I think that could be an episode we do. Let's just get really jacked up on opiates and write stuff, man.
Yeah, I'm opposed to that. I've taken opiates, but I mean, they never really caught.
Nah, I mean, I'm glad they didn't catch. Opiate
Me
addiction is
too.
like crazy.
I mean, they just make me feel tired and
I don't ever feel anything on them.
yeah, I don't.
But I think that's what people are addicted to, that numbness that it gives you. That
Yeah, it does kind of numb you out.
yeah, okay. That's what all the pills.
It's great if you had surgery or something, though.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Anyway,
I was gonna say, so they were all just basically like, hey, let's all write and see who comes up with the
right.
best story. Even was she a writer before then?
Not much of one.
No. So it's just like my husband writes, but
But she had all these ideas from
I'm gonna
going to
show
see
'em up.
this galvanism thing.
yeah.
You may remember, and I even saw like a little glimmer in your eye when I said John Polidori. You remember where that's from?
I do, but I don't because it is super familiar sounding.
Yeah, the other story to come from this weekend, The Vampire. The first vampire story.
What?
The one that we talked about during Vampires that was before Bram Stoker.
Oh, that was him.
That was his story that came out of that weekend.
So, real quick, did all the like known monsters come out of the Gothica age?
Kind of. I mean, really, this one weekend is sort of responsible for the horror and or science fiction genre.
So, are you telling me
Using, well, not vampire, but Frankenstein in particular.
did they do some sort of mash?
What?
A monster mash?
It is kind of a monster mashup. That's awesome.
Sorry,
Couldn't wait to get that in.
I couldn't. I had to say it at some point.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of bizarre and interesting that, most, I mean, think about how many movies, games, media, folklore, I mean, just from those two things, from Dr. Frankenstein and from the vampire.
Yeah.
I mean, that spawned so many things just from a weekend of taking drugs, hanging out with your friends in a mountain house.
Well,
and what's funny is they weren't even the good writers. Percy Shelley and Lord Byron were far better established. And actually, the vampire was credited to Lord Byron initially because they were like,
here, you release this, so
whatever. It's a Lord Byron story.
Yeah.
He's your friend? Yeah, we're just going to publish it under his name. And then Byron actually had to come out in the media and be no, it's not my story. Like, he wrote it.
But, that's almost kind of clever because it's like, this is, so people look at it and go, this is a bestseller. Yeah. And then it turns around and it's like, well, I mean, I didn't write. That's kind of like when, they have like books or movies, it's like presented by Quentin Tarantino. He didn't have shit to do with it. He's just like, he saw it and goes, hey, this is really good.
Yeah, I'm cool with this.
I'm going to put my name on it just so people look at it.
Yeah. I mean, people, coming out with podcasts do that to me all the time. I mean, Dan Glazer presents, Strange Mysteries. Nothing? All right.
No.
Just give me dirty looks.
No.
Not a good lie.
Maybe we should get a sponsor.
Fair enough. Damn it. What else was I going to say? Hey, pause it.
And we're back.
Are we?
Yeah, we're back.
Okay. So the thing I forgot about was Prometheus. So Prometheus was the character from Greek mythology that was cursed
to roll the stone and have his liver eaten out.
Maybe. But the reason for that, I think that was a different person.
No, yeah.
The reason for that was because he gave fire to humans.
Yes.
But so I guess the correlation there is, people aren't supposed to create life.
Oh, and fire is life.
Right.
Which is why Frankenstein's afraid of fire?
Maybe.
Because he's undead and he's afraid of actual life. Metaphors.
You would have done well in that class that I failed.
So, I have a few questions because I've never read the book that I remember, and the movies are all a little different.
They are, and none of them are completely accurate. So
not even the movie where... Never mind. We'll get to movies later. So, was Frankenstein multiple people? Was it different body parts from different people, or was it one whole criminal person and a different brain?
That's a good question.
Or was it
so Victor had a hard time with the small intricacies, so he had to use multiple body parts and made him like 8 feet tall because he couldn't do like the small parts because, in the 1800s, they didn't have, advanced modern equipment, so they wouldn't have known how to do any of that stuff. So he made the body larger. So he had to use multiple parts to get to that size.
So, like, this guy had, like, 2 torsos?
He may not have had 2 torsos, but he may have had the torso of a big person. And then, any parts that were damaged.
Okay, so that's what, like, this leg is rotten. So we're going to chop this leg off, put this leg on, because this leg's good.
Exactly.
Did they say how many bodies it was? Well, that didn't sound right. Was that bad English? How many bodies it was? That is bad English, right?
Sounds like it.
But it sounds like it's the right way to say that.
Shouldn't end a sentence with was.
Is that how many...
How many parts did the creature contain?
Yeah, that just seemed... Okay. Anyways. How many peeps he had used?
Yeah, how many peeps? How many eyeballs?
Because I'm assuming... He definitely got a brain separate from everything else, right?
I think so. That was
kind of the...
I don't remember that detail exactly. I'd have to look that up. I know that's a big part of the movies.
Yeah, and that's why I was wondering if it was part of the books, because in the movies is, they got a bad brain, or...
Yeah, like he was supposed to go find I think it is, actually. He was supposed to go find, the brain of a scholar, and it was either damaged or he got the wrong one.
So he had to use the brain of a criminal.
Yeah, I'd have to look that up.
Okay. Well, anyways, so it is multiple body parts,
It is multiple, yeah.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Because, sometimes you see it with stitching all over, and then other times it's just one person with their, the stitching around the head. And in the book, the bolts in the neck, that's not a thing, right?
They say electrodes, but I don't know that there's anything permanently attached. No,
yeah, you would think electrodes,
the bolts aren't in the book now.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's just weird that they chose certain things.
Isn't it?
That's what, when you think of Frankenstein, you think of bolts in the neck. That's
right.
In the top 3 things you think of when you think Frankenstein.
Oh, for sure.
That, green skin, tall forehead.
5 head.
Flat head. It's just weird that, why flat head? Why would he have a flat head?
That's a good question. I don't know. So, do you want me to give you a quick rundown of how the story goes?
Can I try to guess first? I think this is going to be fun.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Victor is a scientist. He's trying to work on...
Good start.
He's trying to work on bringing people, or extending life maybe, or bringing the dead back to life. No one will give him the go-ahead to work on this stuff, so he has to do it in the shadows at night.
Close enough.
Hires someone to steal bodies from the graveyard, mostly criminals, so he won't get busted.
No.
Okay.
And that's a weird aspect.
Well,
there's no assistant.
Oh, there's no assistant.
There's no Igor. There's no anybody.
Huh.
That's not part of the story. He has.
Well, I assumed
he
it
has
was
a friend,
Igor, because Igor is himself a monster.
There are a couple of friends of his that kind of know about what he's doing, but not really.
Well, see, the thing is, back in that time, you could just
still tried to hide it.
Well, back in that time, you could just buy body part, or you could just buy bodies.
You need a tow? I'll get you a tow by 3:00.
Yeah. Well, oh man, who are the people? I can't think of their names right now. There was real life people who got busted for digging up bodies and selling them to.
Oh, that's happened a lot. I think, wasn't Andy Serkis in a movie that was about that?
Oh man,
it was on Netflix in my queue for a year or two, and I was like, I'll watch this.
Who's the funny redhead dude? Shaun of the Dead.
Carrot Top.
Shaun of the Dead. How do you fucking get Carrot Top on that?
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg and the other guy.
Oh, it was Andy Serkis.
That's Andy Serkis? Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that's who that was.
Yeah, the Gollum guy.
What?
He's the one that was Gollum.
The bigger guy from...
In Lord of the Rings.
The bigger guy from...
Black Panther?
Shaun of the Dead?
No.
That's who I'm talking about.
Oh, that's Nick Frost.
Okay, that is Nick Frost. Mm-hmm. I keep getting Nick Frost and the director of those movies, because they're all friends.
No, that's Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright. See, I always get those two. So Nick Frost and Simon Pegg play the two guys who were grave robbed. There's a movie out. There's been multiple movies about it. I can't remember what the name.
I don't think it's Nick Frost though. I think it's Simon Pegg and Andy Serkis.
It might be.
Or maybe it's Nick Frost and Andy Serkis. I know the fucking Gollum guy.
I know it's Simon Pegg 100%.
Which, by the way, Andy Serkis in Black Panther does a fantastic job, and he's clearly been doing steroids for the last 10 years.
Is that the guy with one arm?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he plays Claw.
I didn't know that was Simon. I didn't
but
know
it's
that was...
like A-U-G-H. It's like Clow.
Maybe I don't know who Andy Serkis is.
Maybe he knows Smaug.
Smaug. So anyways, okay, so he's getting these bodies on his own.
Yep.
Obviously doing everything in the dark. So
mostly,
people don't know. I mean, maybe a few close friends know about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a private lab.
So does he have to create some sort of elixir or something to inject into the body, or is it just the lightning and how does he discover that?
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly that he realizes, and it relates to galvanism, so that electricity is the key element to life, and that's what he develops. I don't even remember if it's necessarily lightning. Maybe that is the final thing that he needs, but I'm not sure if he even needed lightning or if it was just energy that he generated in the lab. But this, the story is told in a narrative frame, which is basically a story within a story.
Oh, it's like him sitting by a fire telling his story.
Kind of. So
or someone reading his diary of him writing about the story.
There's a sea captain.
Oh, that's right.
Like if you ever saw the Kenneth Branagh version of the movie, which is close, but I mean, even though it's called Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, it's still inaccurate.
That's who plays Frankenstein in that?
De Niro.
De Niro, that's right. That's the one I was thinking of.
Funny.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, is that the one that's most accurate, I would think?
It's pretty close.
Is it?
It's pretty close.
But then again, that's about Mary Shelley being there with Frank, like, isn't it?
No.
I thought the woman in that was Mary Shelley.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some kind of
so
fucked
it was
up
like
twist.
it was like, oh, that's actually Mary Shelley. She met Frankenstein. They were in love or some bullshit.
That's stupid. Or was that just Mary Steenburgen?
Is that another Mary from the story?
No, I think she was the actress that played that chick.
Couldn't tell you.
I don't either. I'm just making shit up now.
So anyway,
captain. There's a sea captain that is stuck in the ice in the North Pole who comes across a nearly dead Victor Frankenstein who relates his story up until the point that he is pursuing the monster. So that's how it's supposed to have like come to light, you know. So that's like early literature's version of found footage. Like, oh, this really happened, and we found this story from this sea captain.
So basically, in the book, he's trying to hunt down his creation to kill it.
Yes,
because it's a killing machine. It's basically an unkillable criminal.
Well,
he's a thirst of rage and blood. And...
Well, it's mostly for revenge. So, he creates, and he actually calls the creature Adam.
As in the first man?
Yeah, exactly. So most of what you had guessed is pretty accurate. Like he went through school, just generally disliked by his father, studied biology and music and lots of other things. Didn't do all that well, was kind of an outcast. He creates Adam, who rejects him. He gets freaked out, goes to tell, I think his friend's name was Jonathan, somebody from school. When they get back, he's already gone. Dude goes on a killing spree because he doesn't know who he is yet. Victor stops hearing reports about Frankenstein and kind of just goes home. Like he goes back to his hometown.
Okay, well, that's over.
Yeah, like, well, I'm never going to find him. You know, he's disappeared at this point. And, damn it, I'm having a hard time remembering it now.
So it's similar to the story in Penny Dreadful then?
Very similar.
Okay. They seem to have got a lot of stuff right in that. That was a great show.
They did. They got a lot of the fantasy.
Historical
lore.
fantasy.
I just lost words completely there for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it.
So
fuck you, booze.
So, but then the monster comes to find him and says, "Hey, make me a wife, or I'm going to kill someone you love."
Because Penny Dreadful did have it right in that aspect, and so did the Kenneth Branagh version. The creature learns fairly quickly. So I don't know if you ever saw the original James Whale, I think was the director, the original Frankenstein movie.
Black and white.
The black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there's that famous scene where he, like, accidentally or just gets scared and accidentally kills the little girl by the water.
Yeah.
And he's, like, watching this family and helping them. Well, that's what he does in the book. He, like, you know, starts to understand who he is and what he is, and he teaches himself things. So he starts helping this family in the woods. Like, he'll, like, bring them firewood and, like, kill animals and, like, leave the meat for them and stuff. And
trying to be a good guy.
Yeah, trying to be a good guy. He gradually acquires, you know, lost or forgotten literature. Learns quite a few things on his own.
Learns to speak and read and...
Yep. Well, and then he knows he's hideous. Like, he catches his reflection sometime.
Yeah, like in the water, I think.
Yep. And, he decides that as he becomes more intelligent and he's helped his family so much, he has been observing them so long, he's like, well,
I need someone.
they seem like nice people. Maybe I can reveal myself to them. That didn't work out. They were horrified. And they, end up chasing him off. He becomes very bitter with Victor for even creating him. And he decides that he needs a companion. Because nobody else will understand his life other than someone like him. So he tracks down Victor. Tries to get him to create a woman. Mm-hmm. And Victor starts the process. He gets everything going. And Frankenstein's just like following him around. The creature's following him around all the time, making sure he's doing shit. And Victor gets freaked out, a little pissed off, and he destroys it. Mm-hmm. He destroys the work. He's like, fuck you. I'm not doing this. I don't want any part of it. And Frankenstein's like, I'll be there on your wedding night. And then just like disappears for years. Mm. Victor thinks he's cool. Goes on with his life.
He's gone,
gets things straightened out. Meets some lady and, he's about to marry her.
Who shows up?
Big badass.
Old flat top.
Old Sparky.
Old flat top with the sparks on the neck. And murders his wife to be?
Yeah. Murders his wife and his buddy Jonathan or whatever the fuck his name was. And Victor shows up, gangster style, with a bunch of weapons. Dual pistola rifle, and is attacking the creature like, you're fucking dead, man. I honestly think was a little off for the story thus far, because they kind of alluded to the fact that Frankenstein is immortal.
And that Victor's kind of like a pussy.
A little bit, yeah.
He's going to run away from it. He's not going to face his...
No, I guess he's full of nerd rage.
Yeah, he's like, no.
I'll beat you now. I have guns. And so the creature runs off to the north, and that's where we find Victor.
Chasing him down.
Right.
Okay. So there was never a bride of Frankenstein in the movie. There was going to be, but then it was
not one
destroyed.
that lived, no. And I think that's where Brent fucked up, because there was the bride.
Well, and that's the whole, that's usually what you see. The bride comes to life, and then the bride rejects Frankenstein also, and it's like, oh, man. He's like, well, fuck you. No one loves me, so I'm going to burn everything around me. So
yeah, where did the fire thing come from?
I think that's just more because he's a primitive human.
Fireman.
And what's up with the walking with the arms straight out?
I think that's just movies. I think that's just
Rick Mortis.
Yeah, uncoordinated.
But does he have a heartbeat?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he has everything he's supposed to, and it is.
So he's basically a real boy. He's a real human.
He's a real boy.
A bullet to the heart or to the head will kill him. Does he have actual blood in his veins?
I don't know. They kind of allude to the fact that he's immortal and crazy strong, because he had to make him so much larger. So his muscles are longer. His heart is bigger. He had to change. He had to modify so many parts.
Yeah.
To get him to come to life.
Which would seem like a lot more difficult to modify it to make it a bigger person than to just work on something smaller.
I don't know. I mean, if you had to connect some shit up,
Yeah, but then you're like,
you want something you can see, or?
I mean, I'm sure they had magnifying glasses.
I don't know.
Why wouldn't they just get a fresh corpse, shock it back to life?
I don't know. Maybe they wanted to make it better.
Okay, well,
we can rebuild him.
This makes me think, when they created the clear defib machine, the first time they used it and it worked, were they like, listen, man, I read a book about this. It doesn't go well.
I'm a monster.
Yeah, because technically that's what it's doing. It's using electricity to bring someone back to life.
Yeah. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Have you always known that?
Yeah.
I have to admit, up until about 10 years ago, when I was in a CPR class, I really thought that like regular CPR could bring somebody back to life.
That's just continuing to pump blood and
Yeah.
keep oxygen in the blood.
Yeah,
that's
keep
all you're
oxygen
doing.
in the brain.
You're keeping them not brain dead until someone gets there with a machine to bring them back to life.
If someone brings them back to life, they won't be retarded.
Now, I think CPR can get some people back.
Not if the heart stopped.
Really? Even
it's
just
impossible.
I heard like pounding on the chest. And,
nope. That's just in the movies, dude.
Fucking A.
Yeah. See
it's
what I mean?
It's the electrical pulse that...
It is.
It's
electricity.
It's waking the brain back up is what it's doing.
It's not even the brain. It's the heart. The only way to restart a stopped heart is electricity.
So you're hot wiring a body, basically.
Yeah.
That's fucking badass.
Isn't it weird?
Kickstart my heart. That almost could be the intro song.
Ooh, yeah. Kickstart my heart. Good call, dude. Oh, we're totally going to change that now.
Yep. Originally, we were going to do Alice Cooper, Feed My Frankenstein, but I think...
Yeah, we just totally fucked up the illusion that we're listening to the song right before the show.
Yeah.
Well, we're not.
No. We choose it throughout the day. Whenever.
Illusion shattered. We just lost 4 listeners.
But we gained 6.
That's right.
So, I guess we can move on. Like, would you want to be brought back to life?
Good question. Do you mean like by a defib or like...
I mean, I think obviously a defib, if you just died a couple minutes ago, you want to be brought back, right?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be great if you could go ahead and restart this heart.
Go ahead and do that.
Yeah. I get people who want to have the no resuscitation shit. If you're old and you're like, listen, I'm miserable, I'm old, everything hurts.
Yeah, I mean, if the quality of life is never going to return, yes, I support do not resuscitate. But like if I,
have a heart attack at
fucking heart attack
50
at 39,
how old are you?
Please do something about that. I'm 38.
Yeah. Now what about as a Frankenstein? Like, what if you were brought back to life, but you're not in your body? Like, because that had to be what happened with Frankenstein. He woke up and that's probably why he's so disoriented. He's not used to his hands looking like, his body's not what he's used to.
Well, I mean, if I have no recollection of my previous consciousness.
But you would, see? If you woke up and you knew you were Dan, but
he didn't in the story, but you're changing that parameter?
Yeah.
Well, either way, I think I would still want to live. Wouldn't you?
I mean, even if
I wouldn't want to die.
Completely disfigured and shunned
that's all I got, man.
And shunned by everyone.
I mean, do you like everything about yourself?
I mean, but what's the point of living if you can't interact with anyone? Like, he was unable to interact with anyone.
I would still be okay.
Would you?
I mean, do you like everything about yourself?
No, but I can talk to another human without them screaming and running away.
True. Well, we got the internet now, man. You don't have to...
That is 100% true.
Yeah, I mean, you can still have a pretty vibrant social life, like with never interacting with somebody.
You don't even have to go to the store to get food. You can just have it delivered. Leave it at the door.
Welcome to the future.
Oh, have you taken my advice and started watching Altered Carbon?
No, I haven't taken your advice.
Taken? Listen, I have a unique set of skills. I've been taken.
No, man. I don't even remember when you told me about that.
So basically, it's in...
What was that?
It's in
Thursday?
Yeah, I think so. It's in the future.
That was during Black Panther.
They're able to like store people's brains on these chips and bring them back to life in new bodies.
I've always wondered about that.
So technically, that's a Frankenstein story, right?
For sure.
And it's very like this guy goes to prison for like 190 something years, or maybe more. I can't remember, and is brought back into like the way future.
I feel like your consciousness would probably be more at fault than your body.
Well, I mean, what happened?
Smash that shit.
Like, what happened to Frankenstein's brain when he was dead? Was it just in a void? Was it like he fell asleep and instantly woke back up in this new body? I guess that's more of an esoteric question. Is that right? I don't even know what that word means. I like using it though.
Esoteric just means unconventional.
Oh,
things that you don't expect.
It's way off.
The occult.
So isn't that more of a religious thing though? Like what people think of when they die?
Existential is the word you're looking for.
How much would this suck? Let's say you do die, someone brings you back to life, but when you died, you went to heaven, and then you get sucked back out of heaven into your body, and you're like, son of a bitch, I can't kill myself because then I don't go back to heaven.
I'd be super pissed.
So now it's like, fuck, now I'm stuck here, you fucking asshole.
Well, I mean, if that's the case and I have knowledge of the afterlife, I'm probably going to spend all my time trying to
being like devoted to
tell other people about it. Like, hey, man, that shit's real. I was there.
Yeah. And then
well, how do you know? Look at me. Look at me.
And then they're like, yeah, but you know, the mind delusions as you pass.
Do I look like one person anymore? My left hand is gray.
The amount of DMT released in the brain upon death.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just your body freaking out.
Yeah, it's just
like
one last ride. Here we go.
Don't worry about it, dude. Tripping. What?
I don't know. Let's take a break.
You kind of nodded at me. Go ahead.
We're back. All right, we're back. So I don't really have much else to throw in about Frankenstein. Do you?
A little bit.
Okay.
So
I'm assuming, real quick, sorry, cut you off because I said I had nothing to say and then I have something to say. Green skin because he's rotten, right?
You would think.
Okay.
But it's not really explained.
Yeah. Okay.
But probably the two that do it best, Penny Dreadful and the Kenneth Branagh Mary Shelly movie, they don't have green skin. They just have like kind of patched together, real nasty scars.
Or really pale.
Yeah,
grayish,
which makes more sense.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be. I mean, because he
wouldn't be green.
He
unless
cut the rotted pieces off.
Gangrenous.
That's why he used multiple bodies.
Festering.
Oh,
that's an uncomfortable word.
But you want to start with? So let's go into media and our favorite Frankenstein and stuff: movies, games, comics, books. Well, obviously, Mary Shelley's book. That's what this whole thing's based off of. That was the starting.
And the interesting thing about. It being man, I'm sorry. My brain is.
Your what?
My brain.
My
brain is chipper. So a lot of people point out the fact that it's a horror story.
Is it?
But most people consider it the first science fiction story because there's the aspect that they use science to achieve something that they couldn't achieve before.
Yeah. So that was the first science fiction ever? There was never any, like, to the moon in a rocket.
This is 1800s, man. They didn't have the science.
Yeah.
And galvanism was so early. I mean, it was completely inaccurate. There's no such thing as vital fluid. But
man,
people didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, so it wasn't just like supernatural. It was science fiction.
They used to think that, they could capture the soul. Right. It's like the Reanimator.
Right. That's a good one.
And that's more of a zombie, though, than a Frankenstein.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
There's the difference between Frankenstein and zombies, right? I think we need to draw the line here. I think Frankenstein is something that definitely need lightning or electricity to bring to life.
Sure.
And more than one person being combined into a being.
I don't feel like it's undead either.
No, it's a fully live person.
Right.
I don't feel like they're immortal either, even though most of the stories
Most of the stories allude to the fact that because he found out this, like, very strange way to perpetuate dead tissue, that it was never going to stop.
Yeah, but it could still be stopped, and then it would have to be started again. But what if maybe because there's multiple bodies being used, its soul is that much stronger, so it's just stronger because it's multiple people. It's like 3 people punching instead of 1 because there's 3 bodies.
Like a reverse Voldemort.
Yeah. Like I am one single giant Horcrux.
Everything goes back to Harry Potter.
So, and then I guess zombies, obviously, undead. I almost want to say also, Frankenstein's intelligent. Although he might not be when he's first created or reborn or however you want to say it.
Right.
He can learn. Whereas a zombie is a brain dead. Basically, a zombie is a Frankenstein without a brain.
Yeah, zombie more relates to, the early Hollywood Well, most of Hollywood's version of the creature, because he's just viewed as a dumb monster that walks with his arms out and is afraid of fire. That's more zombie-like than what the story is.
Who cuts grass in February, Dan?
That would be my neighbor Jack.
So, I, as far as movies go, I want to bring up this one first because it's my all-time favorite, Young Frankenstein.
Oh man, I was going to save that for the end, but I'm.
Okay were you?
I'm okay with that because who isn't?
Who isn't a Mel Brooks fan? First of all,
Well, yeah, it's brilliant, but also has the genius of Gene Wilder, everybody's favorite ditzy blonde Terry Garr, who I personally think was kind of hot, Madeline Kahn.
well, I love that movie. It's great. It's shot in black and white, even though it was after black and white times. It was like an artistic comedy, is what it is.
Oh yeah, it's brilliant.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's a slapstick, almost like a theater play.
Yeah.
Of the story, and I mean it's so brilliantly written. Peter Boyle as the monster,
Yeah.
fantastic.
And what's his name is Igor?
Igor.
I want to know where the Igor thing came about. What put that in stone as related to the Frankenstein? It wasn't in the book. Was it in the original Frankenstein movie?
No. Well, yes, it was.
It was.
His name was Fritz, though, I think.
Yeah, but
There was Fritz that went and stole the brains.
but something about Igor. It's walk this way.
Dr. Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
You're putting me on.
No, it's pronounced Frankenstein.
Do you also say Frodwick?
No, Frederick.
Well, why isn't it Frodwick Frankenstein?
It isn't. It's Frederick Frankenstein.
I see.
You must be Igor.
No, it's pronounced Igor.
But they told me it was Igor.
Well, you were wrong there, but,
Oh
That's brilliant.
man,
You know that?
God rest his soul, Gene Wilder.
Oh yeah, dude.
Who's the guy that plays Igor?
I forget his name, but he's brilliant too.
With the
It's-
crazy eyes.
It's unfortunate that that was a condition,
Yeah, but like,
but he was still really good.
yeah,
He was in a lot of movies like that where he just plays a weirdo.
yeah,
But he's clearly fine with it.
yeah. Which, whatever. If you're a circus freak, you're a circus freak. And
Yeah, man, make
some
that
people are
mark.
okay with it.
Fuck yeah.
You don't see the Wolf Boys nair in their face.
Yeah, I mean that's easily my favorite.
So,
Next to that is, have you ever seen The Bride?
I don't believe so.
It's fantastic. Sting is Victor.
I'm sorry, Sting, the singer Sting
That's correct.
from the Police.
That's right. Or a bumblebee shirt.
I will watching.
That's why they called him Sting.
I'll be watching you. That him? Every step you take.
Yeah, the real stalkery sounding one.
Yeah, it's definitely.
That's one of the reasons I like the Police, actually. Is their songs are way creepier than people think they are. Like, Don't Stand So Close to Me is about a young girl in the dude's classroom that he's like, get away from me because I'm going to end up fucking you.
Wow. Man. It's funny you said that because I was just thinking of something that was like that. It's like, oh yeah. Well, I guess it's not obvious, but like,
She's only 17.
there's a lot of songs that are super creepy like that.
I'm a Girl Watcher. That was like in the 60s.
Not even
Conservative
creepy,
time, but they're talking about like watching kids at the park.
but just the way music can like you think it's saying one thing and then it's super dark or super, it's like just complete like
Oh yeah,
Outcast.
Yeah, Outcast.
Yes. You know their song "Hey Ya"?
Yeah.
Have you heard the Parker? What's that real Amish name? Obadiah Parker.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Anyways, he makes a cover of it, and you can actually understand what they're saying in the song, and it's super dark. Like it's all about basically. I don't know if she's cheating on me, but I'm cheating on her, and separate's always better when there's feelings involved, and basically our parents could stay together, but we couldn't because we don't know how to do it right, and super dark. You should listen to it. It's a good song.
Sounds compelling.
Because you think it's a happy song because the beat's all happy, but the words are like, oh shit, that's pretty dark for
Just
a happy
about changing the tone of it.
Yeah, that's like Brick. You know the song "Brick" by Ben Folds 5? Didn't know that was about an abortion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Did
a
you
really
really
dark
pay
song.
attention?
Yeah, I didn't realize that until this year.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wow, yeah, I get it now. Yeah, she's all alone because she didn't have a baby in her.
Creepy.
Super dark.
Anyway, just real quick.
So, what's the one you were talking about with Al Pacino? Not Al Pacino. Robert De Niro? Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
I'm a monster.
Hey, I'm a monster. I'm the parent too. Meet me.
Can you imagine Pacino doing the creature? That would be awesome. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein? The Kenneth Branagh version?
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of all the other ones. Obviously, we've mentioned this multiple times, but I think this is going to be the last time we mention it. Monster Squad.
Well, yeah, he's the one who dies, and it's real sad at the end.
Yeah, and it's so funny because they do the whole thing like the girl by the lake, and you're like, oh shit, he's going to kill her.
No.
And it's like,
Yeah,
meet
they
my
do.
friend. Yeah, it's like a shot for shot of the original black and white one where he would have killed the girl.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I mean, I don't know for sure, but it looked super similar. And then I think the only other time we're going to mention Monster Squad, just for everyone who's sick of hearing it, because we've mentioned it last 3 episodes, is when we do mummies, which we're going to eventually have to do.
Nah, I don't like mummies.
You scared of them, bro?
No, I think they're just a stupid story.
Really?
Yeah.
Mortal
Yeah.
Life?
Yeah.
Do they have spells? Do they not have spells? We're going to talk about it one day, because we're going to run out of stuff to talk about.
No, we're not.
So, Young Frankenstein, the original Frankenstein, the Robert De Niro Frankenstein. There was another one that was more recent where this guy was like stitched together and he was like a black guy and a white guy. And
Or is it I, Frankenstein?
no, I don't think I ever saw that. That's where he's fighting like gargoyles and shit, right?
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
It's bad, dude. There's several. So
What's the
the original, I think, was 1920.
Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein?
Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. That one's actually not bad.
I really like Abbott and Costello movies.
It's really not
they're
bad.
entertaining.
Yeah, did you ever see the Abbott and Costello Go to Mars?
No, I don't think
It's
I've
just
seen
like
that
a
one.
bunch of hot chicks.
Nice.
It's pretty good. 1910.
We talked-
apparently was the original.
Really? So we talked Penny Dreadful, which I think me and you both say that's probably like our favorite monster television show, right?
Easily.
I mean, they did it so well, and they fucking ended it, and it's sad. But I'm glad they ended it on a good note.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it was getting bad.
Yeah.
It was getting kind of drawn out. But did you ever watch what was the other one? Sleepy Hollow?
The show?
Yeah.
No.
It wasn't bad, dude.
Really?
Like, for some reason, we just stopped watching it. It went on for like 5 or 6 seasons.
Yeah. What about Grimm Brothers?
I
Or
thought
the
that was
Grimm,
dumb.
the TV show where he's a cop?
Grimm, yeah. I tried to watch it.
I watched
I mean, it was
first few
okay.
episodes.
It felt kind of after schoolish to me.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not HBO or Showtime, it's like, why am I watching this?
I mean, there's so many, dude. It's ridiculous.
Well,
Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet Frankenstein. I mean, that was a pretty good one. Blackenstein.
What? There's a Blackenstein.
Bride
I
of
didn't-
Frankenstein. Curse of Frankenstein. The Evil Frankenstein. Flesh for Frankenstein. Frankenhooker.
Frankenhooker, my
Just with-
favorite.
Just with the title Frankenstein. 1910, 1931, 1973, 2015.
So,
Frankenstein Conquers the World. I'd really like to check that one out, 1965.
I mean, honestly, the Frankenstein story, though, it's kind of boring. Why
Frankenstein
is it
meets
so
the Wolfman
popular?
with our old buddy Bela Lugosi.
Yeah, Bela Lugosi. I almost said Louis Bagussi.
And
So wrong.
Lon Chaney as the Wolfman.
So what makes
Boris Karloff.
the Frankenstein monster so appealing to people?
I don't know that it's the story. I don't think it's the monster. I think it's the story. The crazy laboratory and the mad scientists.
It's more the mad scientist than it is the monster.
The villagers with the pitchforks, and then you've got, I think probably the appealing part of it is that, just like in the book, they try to make the monster human as much as possible so that,
So you can connect with him, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
these people are hating on him, but
you have an emotional connection to the monster.
he's not bad. He just doesn't know.
Yeah.
It's like a bad dog. It's like, fuck, I'm not gonna hit my dog, but fuck, you chewed up my whole
Same way
couch.
I feel about you, man. I mean, I can't get mad at you.
Yeah, I mean, you could hit me, but I mean, you don't really want to hit me, and then
No.
I'm stronger than you, and then what's gonna happen?
You're going to tear my head off and probably burn the village down.
Hey, just don't light a lighter. Fire.
Oh, yeah, you're not going to burn the village down. You hate that shit.
Yeah, Frankenstein's just never been super appealing to me.
No, I mean, really the interesting part to me is kind of the history behind it. And,
Yeah.
And how,
I do like a mad scientist, though.
yeah, that's cool, isn't it?
Like, oh, this guy, he's on the cutting edge of science. He's doing stuff that people don't want him to do.
Right. That's kind of the archetype, isn't
He's
it?
fucking around with stem cells.
The mad scientist thing, like the crazy lab and, electricity everywhere, bubbling beakers. Every scene you think of that. I mean, is there a better archetype than Victor Frankenstein? I mean, that's what you expect.
Yeah, like something about someone who's pushing the limits
Yeah,
of science,
it's
and then it
kind of exciting.
backfires on them.
Yeah. It's exciting because it's a little bit dark. They're breaking the rules. Cooking meth. I mean, how is at least not one Victor Frankenstein trying to make some drugs while he's cooking that shit up?
All right, I'm looking up something real quick because
How related is
go ahead.
how related is Dr. Jekyll?
Well, see, that's another thing. That's another basically it's another mad scientist story.
It is.
It's him trying to push the limits of science and becoming a monster himself versus creating a monster. He's still creating a monster.
They alluded to that in Penny Dreadful too, like his buddy.
Oh yeah.
Were attempting to, quote unquote, cure the female
Hysteria.
hysteria. Yeah.
But yeah, because he didn't.
He was Dr. Jekyll though.
Yeah, and I think Victor in the show said something about like I know about your issue because he like started getting really angry one time and he's like, yeah, because I mean it is mad scientist.
No, it's a story about a very similar thing. I mean,
Yeah, it's pushing something to the limit and having it backfire.
right.
Because even in the original Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde,
The H.G. Wells
he
story.
he doesn't know he's Mr. Hyde.
No, he doesn't.
He reeds these reports about this
He's more like the
monster
Hulk.
attacking, and then he
he's
eventually
almost
finds
exactly
out.
the Hulk.
Yeah, he eventually. Well, he's like an evil Hulk. He's Red Hulk. I don't know. So, but he eventually finds out it's him. But at first, it's he doesn't know it's him that's caused this trouble. Whereas I
Right.
guess Victor kind of does. He's like,
Oh, for
yeah,
sure.
let that monster go.
Yeah, absolutely. But I agree though. Like, it is strange that it's such a prolific character. But I think that's why. I mean, you've got some really cool ideas. You've got the crazy mad scientist. You've got a castle usually. Lots dark and stormy night, and it's accessible. I mean, it's a pretty broad appeal. It's not scary.
No,
Like
that's
kids
why.
can
That's
watch
why
it,
when
adults can watch it.
when people say horror, I don't think of that as a horror movie.
No, and any version, even if it's
No.
one that's a little bit violent, it's still not gonna frighten
It's
anybody
more
really.
psychological.
Yeah, Just like,
Or
monster.
like, well, I mean, because you usually put yourself in the shoes of Victor or whoever created the monster. It's
Sure.
like, what would you do if you created, like, you thought you were doing this great thing,
Right.
and come to find out you were being a total piece of shit,
Yeah.
and now you have no way of stopping what you've created. Because that's
Right.
usually what it comes down to is they try to stop what they've created. Even in the book, the original, that's what he's doing. He's hunting down his monster. His monster's in the North Pole. That's
Right.
obviously where he's hunting him. Obviously, the monster's going up there to not hurt anyone. So why are you still hunting him down?
Yeah, just trying to get away.
Well, I guess revenge. That's right.
Yeah, revenge.
At some point, you got to give up. You got to go, yeah, that's my bad.
It's like when you come up with something amazing like blueberry, and then the whole world goes health crazy, and now all the cereals are shit because they don't allow you to have gluten or corn syrup or anything that's delicious that causes cancer. Have you had what used to be a sugary cereal in a while? They're all garbage.
no.
Go buy a box of Trix. You'll be disappointed.
I'll tell you right now,
sucks.
Reese's Puffs cereal.
Yeah.
It's like the only one I get now. It
Really?
wasn't around when I was a kid. It is the best fucking cereal.
Is it still good?
It's fucking amazing.
Captain Crunch? Garbage.
You know, it's really weird how cereal was originally created to be healthy.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like, we're just going to add a shit ton of sugar
What,
for the crazies.
I didn't ever get a lot of those as a kid. We weren't allowed to.
Cereals?
So I didn't even really have, I maybe had a box or a bowl
so
of
weird.
blueberry in like 3 times in my life.
My favorite cereals were like the more healthier ones, like shredded wheats. I love a shredded wheat cereal.
You're a weird person.
I like to let it soak in the milk and you put it in your mouth and you squeeze it with your tongue like this. And it like
Squishes
melt.
out.
Oh, yeah. And it gets mushy, almost like an
Fucking
oatmeal.
You just like Terry, man. She likes like Cheerios. She prefers
Honey Nut Cheerios are the bomb fucking diggity.
She prefers bland food.
I don't prefer bland food.
I know you don't, but isn't that weird? Like she'd rather have things that are completely unseasoned.
That's like one of my best friends. Nobody likes on his sandwiches? Nothing. Eats them dry.
I hate that.
Like, what is wrong with you? He'll go to like Burger King, order a sandwich, like a hamburger. Just take everything off but ketchup.
Hamburger on it. Hamburger, nothing on it. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like any of
He'll
that
order
shit.
a sub, no mayonnaise. No
Okay,
nothing.
I'm okay with that.
Just meat and cheese and bread. That is not okay.
I will typically order a sandwich without mayonnaise out because it's been sitting out for days, weeks, months. You don't really know.
Have you ever gotten sick from mayonnaise?
Yeah.
Okay, well I haven't. Maybe that's the issue.
Well, and it just tastes gross. I know they don't keep it cold. I've worked in restaurants.
Yeah.
I really don't even like ordering ranch dressing because I know it's just been sitting in those little...
I don't like ordering food really because half the time I'm like, I know people that work in places like this.
Yeah. And most of them suck.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. You washed your hands when you left the bathroom. I believe you, man. Okay. They did. They didn't, Dan.
Don't talk about it.
Are you? I know you're this type of person, but I'm not. If I'm eating something, like let's say a hamburger, and you bite into it and you pull it, and there's a hair in your mouth,
Done.
you pull the hair out. I finish eating that hamburger.
I've completely lost my appetite at that point.
Yeah. It like the next bite's a little queasy, but I finish eating.
I'm just going to power through this.
I mean,
Chomp, chomp.
they didn't
Hair.
put it in there on purpose. It's just
You don't even
hair.
know what kind of hair that is, man.
I mean, if you have 12-inch pubes,
Armpit hair?
good on you. No, it's like 12. Yeah. Now, if it's
You're finding a 12-inch hair in your food and you're continuing, that means it had to be coiled up. That's like
Yeah.
finding a smashed spider in your food and you're just going to keep going?
I mean, spider. Yeah, I'll probably still eat with a spider.
Well, yeah, because you hate spiders. And so,
Good for you. I'm gonna eat you now.
yeah, that's just, spiritual domination.
Ah.
Fuck the spider.
So
What about stuff that's, another type of, like, Prometheus story? Like, you give too much power to human beings or you create life where it shouldn't be.
well, I'm wondering, has there ever been like an animal Frankenstein movie, like where someone brings back animals back from the dead?
I don't remember one.
Like a. All right,
Pet Cemetery?
let's do this real quick. We've never done this. Let's try it out. Let's see how
Okay.
it works.
Hit me.
If you had to make a Frankenstein movie today,
Okay. What would I do?
what would you do? First, let me go. Veterinarian
First, let me go.
Veterinarian brings people, people bring their pets in, they're sick. Well, he does a little chop chop suey suey, brings your pet back to life. Sometimes there's leftover parts. Eventually he makes his own pet, aka Frankendog.
Frankenweenie?
I guess that was a movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like a kid's movie.
Yeah, shit.
Frankenweenie.
Fucking stole that idea. All right, never mind. What would you do if you had to make a Frankenstein movie that would catch the attention of people
the
today?
World?
Okay, let's make it easy. Would you go, what genre? Comedy? Horror?
I would go more like adventure
Comedy?
style.
Ooh.
And it would be, related to some sort of forbidden knowledge.
I think a
And the
story...
ability to bring people back to life would have to relate back to like alchemy or something.
I think a story of Victor trying to follow Frankenstein, like after he's created the monster, after the monster's escaped and killed his family, his journey to follow him, like just going from town to town through destruction to try to hunt down Frankenstein.
That would be kind of interesting. Like, what if they were
movie.
buddies?
No. Like, he's hunting him down, but like he's having to follow like all this. He's having to read papers and go, oh well, this town in Africa got totally destroyed by someone who says they're 8 foot tall.
Ah.
And then like someone captures them, and then the military's like, oh, we're trying to recreate your whatever and make zombie soldiers, and they have to team up.
That's kind of like the Resident Evil storyline. The Umbrella Corporation made all these weird creatures because they were trying to create life from dead things.
Ah.
That's kind of a Frankenstein story.
Technically, yeah. Or is it zombie? See, that's that Frankenstein zombie. I guess if science is involved, then it's Frankenstein. If it's
Well, it just depends on what comes out. I mean, you get a character like Wesker that's, basically a superhuman because he's spliced his DNA with other shit. That's kind of a Frankenstein.
yeah.
But
Ooh.
what if, an Indiana Jones type character creates life and they go on adventures and solve mysteries.
How about this?
And they have a talking dog.
The movie follows Frankenstein trying to escape from Victor. Victor is not a person. Victor is the corporation that created him.
Whoa. The umbrella.
Right?
The umbrella of the Frankenstein.
He still has
myth.
his super strength. He's pretty much immortal, but he knows he's not immortal. So he's writing down a journal trying to like figure out how he was created and share that information with other people before he gets murdered.
Still pretty neat though.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's important.
His arm gets blown off. He has to stitch it back on.
I think that's why this whole story is important. Like it's not my favorite story.
No, it's
But
definitely
it's
not.
important.
It is.
It's inspired so many things.
Well, I think the main lesson of it is don't go somewhere you're not, where, I guess, out of bounds is what I want to say. That's not right. But like, don't push it too far to where you can't pull it back.
Yeah, did you hear about that lady like trying to clone her dog?
No, but that doesn't surprise me.
And she did clone her dog, but then she had like all kinds of like alien resurrection, like horrible disfigured dogs. Like they had to do it like 30 times to get it right. And I'm like, what the fuck did you do to all those abominations? Did you just kill them?
Yeah, just
Are
drowning
they in a
puppies in a
creepy
river.
lab somewhere, like dogs with two faces?
Drowning puppies in a river.
Right? Motherfuck.
So, if you're just going to sit here and tell me, you're going to look me in the eye and say that no country ever has cloned a human, come on now. You don't think anyone in China has cloned a human?
I don't think it's far off. It's
Dude,
either China or
they
South
have-
Carolina.
What?
Or not South Carolina. South Korea. You can pay $150,000 for somebody to clone your dog.
They have cloned humans. It's been done, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what a test tube baby is, right? They create an embryo and then they inject it in a woman.
But they mix sperm with egg to
Yeah.
make a test tube baby. I'm talking about they've straight copied DNA, injected into an egg,
Grown it on like the back of a cow.
and it's been like Bob 2. Yeah.
Do you think they've tried that shit?
I guarantee you they've been successful at doing it.
You can grow an ear on a mouse.
Yeah, I know. Those are crazy, right?
So could you grow a whole person on the back of a cow or a horse?
Holy fuck.
Yeah, just blew your mind.
I didn't even think about that.
And then what if they like became linked together?
My name is Bovine. I have the power of a cow. Attack!
Four
Betsy.
stomachs engage.
Betsy, attack!
Faster.
Faster. Ah, shit, she's slow.
Yeah, that's how we get Big Macs.
Anyways, so Frankenstein, neither one of our favorites, but it is an important story
Yeah.
about pushing the limits of the scientific nature of creation.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like an allegory about like, don't fuck with shit you're not supposed to.
I read it more as be careful when you fuck with shit you're not supposed to.
See, and that's how we get monsters, dude.
Yeah.
Because people like you are like, I got this. I'm
Here's
just
the
going to be
thing.
real careful. I'm going to chain him up.
Here's the thing. I'd totally be...
Can you break that chain? Didn't think so. This guy can't either. He's not even a real person.
I would totally be Hugh Jackman in The Prestige.
Then Frankenstein hears you say, oh, he's not even a real person. He's like, I'll fucking show you, bitch. He's like, ugh.
Would you be Hugh...
Overcomes his fear of fire, burns the place down,
Would you be Hugh Jackman in The Prestige?
skewers you on a spike in front of the whole town. Yes, I would. No, I'd be David Bowie in The Prestige because he was Tesla.
Yeah, and now Tesla's playing David Bowie out in space. What? Yeah, you didn't think about that, right?
I didn't. Nice.
Yeah, saw that on the internet. It's
Ah,
not
good.
original.
Good segue.
Yeah. So next week, man, do you have any plans? What you might want to do if we get a chance to record?
A little bit.
We got a lot of life going on. This year has been real rough, I think, on both of us. A lot of shit
apologies for the late
Yeah.
episode. We totally missed a week.
going on. Not late, yeah. It's just next week.
But yeah, I mean, it's not like we just didn't feel like recording. We just had a bunch of shit going on.
No, we literally came over here to record, and it's just been one thing after another. Any particular topics you're...
I'm kind of ready to get back into the conspiracy kind of things. But I mean, what are your thoughts?
If we go conspiracy, I wouldn't mind doing...
I'm not doing shootings, man.
No,
I'm not even going to go down that road.
No, I'm not either. We're not... Yeah, no. I'm thinking, like, the unlimited power thing.
Ooh, yeah, zero.
I can't remember.
What's it called?
You said zero, and it totally threw me off.
Melted your brain.
0 point energy.
0 point energy. That's right.
How, like,
Yeah, I'm down for that.
basically, there is free energy, but the government's like, no, you're going to pay us for your energy.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'll totally do 0 point energy.
Which is kind of crazy because...
Or we can talk about cold fusion or, any of that other shit.
Is there any places where you can choose which energy company you want to go with?
No, and that's kind of weird because it's a monopoly.
Yeah, but it's not because they're like, well, there's more than one company, but it's like,
No, there isn't.
well, there is, just not, like, there's Berkeley County Co-op.
I'd have to move, though.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's more than one company, but in one particular area, there's only one company. They don't let...
Which is weird because the
they don't
rules
let
for TCOM are different.
Yeah, they don't let cable companies do that.
No. They have to share the infrastructure. Or they have to put in their own. I don't know what the rules are on that, but
And
you
then
can
if
allow
they put in
more
their
than one.
own, they're putting them on the telephone poles that the electric company put in. So it's like, someone's getting paid off.
Interesting. Never really thought about that one.
I mean, why don't they just... Obviously, the whole East Coast is connected,
money.
right?
All of your questions can be answered with money.
I know.
But we can get into that next time.
Yeah, for sure, because we're hour and 20 in. So, think ready to hop into conspiracies? We're going to do a couple
I think so.
conspiracies.
0 point energy would be a good one. There's a lot of stuff to talk about with that.
I know you're itching at the bit to do Templars.
Oh, I am. New World Order. Templars. Dead Sea Scrolls.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody just brought up the Oak Island mystery again. That's all related, man.
Yeah.
It's all related. The Templars
is.
and the Masons, New World Order, Illuminati.
Maybe we could do like Templar month and do like 4 episodes
Man, there's-
spanning different
I could
topics.
do that. I could do that.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of at least 3 off the top of my head. Oak Island.
I could do most
Ark
of
of
it
the Covenant.
without even any research.
Yeah.
All those crazy temples. No, not temples. Churches that supposedly the Masons built that have like all kind of secret clues built in.
Or like the temple that's supposed to hold the Ark of the Covenant with all the people who go blind who work there.
Yeah.
A bunch of weird shit.
Holy Grail. All that shit.
Yeah, man.
The head of what's his name? I don't remember. Peter, I think. John the Baptist.
Oh.
The head of John the Baptist.
That's
The
like
skull of John the Baptist is supposedly one of the Templar treasures.
Really?
Yeah.
Seems like a weird thing to take.
I guess.
I mean, some people believe your body's not intact, your soul can't rest.
Solomon's Key. That's what we should have called it.
Did we actually release that one?
Yeah, it's terrible.
I think we could totally do it again, though.
Nah, I don't want to.
But
But that one's related. I will bring it up in the Templar shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for Fuck. I can't talk. Thanks for listening to Live Forever.
Thanks for listening. I'm Brent.
I'm Dan.
We're out.